and I are honored to welcome our second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, to Tucson. And we can't wait to call you the first dude of the United States of America in November. Are we ready? The second gentleman of the United States of America, Doug Emhoff.
Theme music. Wow, I feel like I'm back at the convention. Thank you for that. Mayor and First Dude. Thank you for that warm welcome to be back in Tucson, to be back in Arizona. Josh, where are you, Josh? Thank you so much for telling your story. People need to hear it. A lot of people have heard Amanda's story, but a lot of people have not heard Josh's story. And that's why we know this is not just an issue for women. This is an issue for all of us. And I had the honor of doing an event with Josh in LA a couple of months ago with 40 men, just talking about these issues. It got really deep and emotional. And Josh, so wherever you are, it's dark in here. Thank you so much. Thanks, man. And all the other speakers, Oren, you guys, we've done events together all over the country, and we're going to keep doing them because this issue is so important, and we are going to continue to fight for all of us. This is an issue for families, not just women. We have a reproductive freedom bus tour on the Harris-Walz campaign. It started in Donald Trump's backyard in Florida. It's been going all over the country. I was just with the future second lady of the United States, Gwen Walz, in Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't know, I'm losing sense of time, but it was in the past. I think it was pre-debate. But we had such an amazing event there. So much energy in that room there, just like there is right here in Tucson. So how about that debate? Yeah, that was awesome. I just take you back a couple of days before the debate. You might have seen on the Sunday, we had a very nice romantic walk on a tarmac, because that's what our lives are like right now, just stealing some romantic time on a military base. But as we were walking by, there's a bunch of press there, even though we were trying to have this private moment, and they were yelling questions, and they said, "Are you ready?" And she just looked at them with that look. "I'm ready." And I was like, whoa. And she was. She took that stage with strength and confidence, and she walked right over to that dude right at his podium. He couldn't even summon the strength to walk towards her. He just stood there, literally didn't know what to do. Oh my God, a woman is trying to shake my hand. Oh my goodness, what do I do? It's so funny. Remember at one of the early rallies when Kamala said, my wife, the vice president, soon to be president? I still love saying that. Remember she said, "You got something to say? Say it to my face." Well, Donald Trump had his chance to say it to her face. He could not even look at her one time. Didn't have the courage to look at her one time. But she looked at him right in the eyes, repeatedly. Looked him right in the eyes, pointed at him and called him what he is, a disgrace. Told him the fact that world leaders who he thinks love him are laughing at him. She revealed Trump for the fraud that he is. He's a fraud on everything. You heard him on reproductive rights, which we'll talk about, to the economy. And Kamala showed the world that she is ready on day one to be commander-in-chief. And the contrast, I mean, you could literally see the split screen. I mean, it was a literal contrast that could not be more clear. Kamala Harris has the character and expertise that we need in a president, that we deserve in a president, and Trump is weak, unhinged, and unfit for any job, let alone President of the United States. Now, apparently, I just missed him by a couple hours right here in Tucson. But here he was, just an even worse version of what he was the night before at the debate, spewing conspiracy theories and grievances. And you know why? Because he got his ass kicked in the debate. He got his ass kicked so bad, he thought he was in Pennsylvania. Oh, man. Thank you. I love you, too. I can't see you, but I love you. Kamala said on that stage, she's the only one who took on transnational gangs and has a comprehensive solution to deal with the border. He's got nothing. He tried to kill that plan. Trump called up Republicans and told them to vote against it because it would help him politically. As Kamala said, Trump would rather run scared from a problem than solve it. That's who he is. And you know he's scared now because she said, let's debate again. Let's do it. I'll keep doing this. And he said he will not debate her again because he's too afraid. But she's going to keep bringing the fight right to him, right to his face. And every single time when we needed a leader and we needed somebody to step up and not only meet the moment, but exceed the moment, there she was, July 21st, when President Biden decided not to continue the race. She stepped into the breach. She stepped into the breach and put herself out there. And then at the convention on, I know this date because it happened to have been our 10th wedding anniversary, August 22nd, she got up there and gave one of the greatest convention speeches of all time. And that debate, well, you know, that was just unbelievable. Kamala Harris, I've seen it. I always knew she was incredible, but now she is the most badass version of herself. And she's going to continue to be badass right through Election Day, and then when she's our president. So she has stepped up at each and every moment when it's been required. Now we got to step up for her. She stepped up for us. Now we got to step up for her, especially right here in Tucson, the blue wall. We can win this entire election if we win right here. So if you do all the work right here, you can make her president. So let's get that done. But we are talking about reproductive freedom. We're talking about rights. And let me bring you back about 2.5 years to June 24th, 2022. Right, I heard some groans because you know what date that was. My phone rang, and it's the Vice President, my wife, in case you forgot. She was on Air Force 2 because she's the Vice President. It's kind of a flex, you know. I know, it's a flex. It's a flex. I'll stop. But on that particular day, I've literally never heard her more upset. And she said, Dougie, because she can call me Dougie, Dougie, they actually did it. They actually did it. And I could hear the rage and anger in her voice, because it was that day and that moment that I found out that the Supreme Court had overturned Roe v. Wade. And she, as you know, turned her rage and anger into action, and you saw that on that debate stage last night. But for me, literally seconds after that I got that phone call, I got a text from Ella, who was 23 at the time, our daughter. And you know, she's got her busy life. She's not texting dear old dad all the time. But on this particular day, she did. And she was also furious. She said, horrible, horrible, horrible day. Time to fight. I'm angry and I don't want to stand by silently. You need to do something about this. We need to do something about this. That was Ella right after Kamala called. And right after that, my 83-year-old, then 83-year-old mother, or 81, 83 now, she called, and she was one of these women in the 60s and 70s who was out there marching for the rights that we thought would never go away. Equal rights, reproductive freedom. And so for a woman of my mother's age to have fought so hard with so many other women and men, to then see that just ripped away from Ella and all the other women out there, and Amanda, and all the stories that we've heard, it was just appalling to her. And she said, get out there and do something about it. And so I have been out there for the past 2.5 years, working with Men for Choice, doing events with people like Josh, and talking about what's really at stake. And what's at stake? You've heard a lot about it from the other speakers, but let me reiterate it. So Kamala has said that this election is not only the most important election of our personal lifetimes, this is the most important election of our nation's lifetime. And one of the reasons why is this issue of reproductive freedom, and that Donald Trump and his little sidekick, J.D. Vance, what an extremist, wants to continue this extremist crusade that none of us want. There's such a small percentage of extremists that actually want this. The vast majority of Americans do not, to dismantle women's reproductive rights and make women somehow less than citizens. And it's just not fair, and it cannot stand, and it will not stand. So it's never been more important, if you care about freedom and you care about this issue and so many others, that we got to get out and vote. We can vote our way out of this. We can vote our way out of this. And it's not just electing Kamala and Tim, it's electing Ruben Gallego. It's electing everyone down ballot, because you see what happens in these states. And it just appalls me. That Supreme Court decision, I was a lawyer for 30 years. I teach at Georgetown Law School, so I kind of know what I'm talking about here. The decision was so appalling, and for Justice Alito to basically say, women are not without recourse. They can just go to the states, right? And look what's happened. In state after state, including right here in Arizona and throughout the country, after Roe fell, some of the most egregious, immoral, barbaric laws have come on the books that punish, they literally are there to punish not only women and families, but doctors as well. And the Vice President said it, I think, in the debate. I've heard her say this. Imagine you're in a state with no exceptions, the J.D. Vance model of no abortion, no exceptions, and you're a victim of rape or incest, which is a crime, a violent crime on your body. And what if you're a young girl that this happens to, and you have no agency of what happens to your body next, after being victimized and brutalized, it's immoral, it's barbaric, it's wrong. And everyone's got to stand up and fight against it and vote, and vote. Let's vote. And this is the majority opinion. We've seen ever since Dobbs, every time this issue has come on the ballot, in red states, blue states, it doesn't matter. The people speak. The majority, 60, 70, 80%, vote for freedom because we all don't want this. We do not want this extremism, no matter where you live. And right here, I'm looking at a Fox News poll that says 73% here in Arizona support a state constitution amendment to protect abortion rights. So if you're pissed off listening to me, vote for Prop 139. And I get so fired up on this stuff. I was an athlete, I was a hardcore lawyer, and one of my mottos was to stay mad and channel that anger into positive energy and positive action. So I know I'm going to stay mad until 11/5, November 5th. I might get a little happy on the 6th after the election, but we should be mad. We should be mad at what they're doing to us. Stay mad and vote. Stay mad and vote. And I mean, watching Donald Trump try to squirm during the debate on this issue was just outrageous. The lying and the gaslighting on this issue. Here are the facts. When he ran in the first time in 2016, it's on video. He said women should be punished when they get an abortion. He said it to Chris Matthews. Just look it up. He said it. Can't get away from it. It's real. He ran on a platform of overturning Roe v. Wade. He had a list of extreme jurists that he would nominate to the Supreme Court. This is a fact. Go look it up, everyone. He said it. I want these justices, and I want justices who want to overturn Roe v. Wade. And what really is outrageous, I remember when Kamala was a senator, and she was on the Senate Judiciary Committee. So 2 of the 3 extremists that he was able to get on the Supreme Court got before the Senate Judiciary Committee, and they said, oh, we're going to uphold precedent. We believe in precedent and stare decisis. Oh, how did that go? How did that go? And then Trump has the nerve in the debate to say everyone, Republicans and Democrats, wanted Roe v. Wade to get overturned. That's just outrageous. It's lies. It's gaslighting. It's Roe being overturned in Dobbs. I've called it a hellscape. We are living in this Dobbsian hellscape for the past 2.5 years caused by Donald Trump. It's a Trump abortion ban, full stop. Look at Josh's wife. You heard the story about Amanda almost dying from sepsis because of what is going on around the country. So as Kamala keeps saying, we're not going back. We can't go back. He set us back over 50 years for all the things my mom and her generation fought for, and now Ella and her generation, all of us, have to fight for it to bring it back. And the first step is electing Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, keep the Senate, take the House, win all these ballot initiatives, take back these state legislatures for freedom, for freedom. Now, I've said this many, many times. I said at the beginning, I talk about this issue not because it's a woman's issue. I talk about this because it's an issue for all of us. I talked to Ella about this, our daughter, but I also talked to Cole about this, who is our son. Cole just got married a little less than a year ago. His wife, Greenlee, is from Texas. Now, they were thinking at some point it might be nice at some point maybe to move, but looking at that outrageous, literally a full ban, there's no way. They want to start a family. How can you start a family under conditions like that? Just ask Josh and Amanda. So it's impacting decisions. It's impacting the medical profession. I know there was a doctor who spoke here. I have met with doctors and talked to them all over the country. Doctors are leaving states where they cannot fully practice medicine. And when you have doctors leaving states, it's not just about abortions, it's about like pap smears and basic health care. So you're going to see other problems arise because doctors are leaving. And people are going to get sick and not be treated. Doctors are not going to have the basic skills because they're not going to teach these things in medical school anymore. They're not going to get the practical experience. So there's so many horrific elements to this that we all need to deal with. So Men for Choice, thank you. I've worked with them throughout this whole process. And Orrin, I'm going to continue to work with you, whether I'm second gentleman, first gentleman, or just good old Doug, because it's that important. It's that important. And as Kamala says, we need to be a nation that trusts women. Trusts them to make decisions, not the government. Donald Trump doesn't know how to deal with a powerful woman on the debate stage. So, too bad, man. Get used to it. And I guess he found out today not to mess with Linda Ronstadt. I was checking that out. What was that song? You're no good, you're no good. And you know, Trump dodged the question. I heard the other speakers talk about it. You know, he threw good old sidekick JD under the bus on this one. JD Vance, I don't even know that guy. Wait, what? What's he talking about? Yeah, he dodged the question on whether he would veto a national abortion ban. You know he wants one. That's what he ran on. It's right there in Project 2025, whether through legislation or the Comstock Act. That's their game. That's their game. And when he says things like bacon, Hannibal Lecter, windmills, they're eating the pets, that's all just crazy. That pet thing is fully racist, by the way, and outrageous. But they want to distract us, let's be honest. Because if we are focusing on that nonsense, the real game is Project 2025 and abortion bans and book bans and making it impossible to vote and controlling everything. That's what their game is, and that's why we can't get distracted. And I know I won't, and I certainly know Kamala won't, because like literally from personal experience over these last 6 or 7, 8 weeks, whatever it's been, every single time I'll say, oh, look, there you are on TV, or look at how much money we're raising, or look at how we've opened up the map. She just like takes my head, puts it down, and says, get back on the road. We haven't won anything yet. So she is not distracted. She is not distracted. And the two words she says to me all the time are focus and discipline. Focus and discipline. And that's what she's doing, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what I need you to do for these next 50 some odd days so we can get them there. So she said it literally, she got off the debate stage, and the first thing she said, how'd I do? Like, what? You killed it! We went to this big rally right after, and she's like, we didn't win anything. Like, stop cheering, go out and get to work. So that's how she is doing her part. And we are building like the biggest possible tent under the sun that has room for, you know, AOC and Bernie and Dick Cheney. So that's how big our tent is. And now we have Taylor Swift. So we got a big tent, and so what do we do with it? Like I said, the map is wide open. I'm actually going to Florida tomorrow. So she's in North Carolina today. I was in Nevada earlier. I'm here in Arizona. I mean earlier meaning earlier like 2 hours ago earlier. Arizona, I'm heading to Florida. She was in North Carolina. So we're traveling everywhere, these 7 or 8 states. The map is wide open. But you're welcome. But we gotta do the blocking and tackling. We gotta do the basics. And what's the first step? That's what Taylor Swift put in her letter. You gotta register to vote. So go to all the websites. Let me get this right. So vote.com, iwillvote.com, vote.org. There's all kinds of websites out there. Make sure you go online, figure out your strategy for registering, get that done right, get everyone else registered, and you can vote early here beginning October 9th. So if you get registered by October 7th, you can vote by October 9th. So just get it done early, and so you can get out there knocking on doors, going to the campaign offices, calling your friends and neighbors, doing all the thing, and it's fun. I've been to offices all over the country. There's so much energy. There's young people, old people, and everyone in between. I'm in the old category too, so I'm making fun of myself. And it's great, and it's what better way to show your love of country and your patriotism and your sense of just doing the right thing and moving us forward and not having to be stuck with this guy. We can't, like she says, we're not going back, but think about it, we can't. Look at that split screen. Like I said, we cannot have that guy and his little sidekick coming in. It'll fundamentally like ruin our way of life. None of us want to live in a world like that. So let's be like her, let's be joyful warriors. I get to have the joyful part most of the time at home. Donald Trump saw the warrior part, and he doesn't want any more to do with that. That's why he doesn't want to debate her again. We're going to work hard. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to be tough. We're going to bring it because this matters. This really matters. And Tim, this is the one thing Tim Walz and I disagree on. He's a great guy, by the way. He said he's going to sleep when he's dead. That's a lot. I'm going to sleep on November 6th, so I can enjoy the fruits of our labor to see my wife, Kamala Harris, as the next president of these United States.